Okay. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So Rashna should be joining us around 8 when she gets off of work. So she's going to be halftime. Tintlet is in town, so we can work with that. My Raven Skull is stuck.
Well, that's what happens when you wear 2 necklaces instead of 1.
I couldn't decide. I like both.
Layered necklaces.
Then you have to have 2 different length necklaces.
They
one
are!
twice so they don't get tangled with each other.
It got tangled with itself.
I would have thought in the several years since we've been together, like, you would have learned some fashion by now.
No!
But apparently not.
What's the fashion?
What is fashion? I'm the one with the army surplus jacket that you call Winchester chic. Okay. Are we recording? We are. And Rashna will join us later, I said.
Alright, people, let's do it live.
We are not doing it live.
That would be scary. No thanks.
I need at least 2 arcs under my belt before I'm comfortable doing it live.
I would no.
Yeah. Okay.
Dungeons of our lives. We were interrogating.
You made this same joke last time, and I know that because I was editing the video today.
I know I made the same joke last time, but I didn't. But I edited the joke this time. I said dungeons instead of days, and I followed through with it. I actually gave it a date.
Good job.
Okay.
Props to you.
Alright, am I centered? Not gonna get very centered.
Also, I thought we weren't recording yet.
We've been recording. I cut the front end off.
Okay.
But we've been recording. We got the whole tail end of that supernatural conversation. I'm gonna close Photoshop. Just minimize the amount of shit this computer is trying to do at once.
I want someone to play a character that is canonically a nudist.
Why would you want that?
Barbarian.
I don't know, because it sounds funny. It sounds like there's a lot of possibilities that would be really hilarious with that.
Alright.
It also sounds absolutely terrifying. Yes, exactly. It's like it's just body paint, terror.
Alright, welcome back. My location has changed by a whole room. Everybody's got glasses today. Olivia, get your glasses.
I don't have glasses. Would if I did.
I feel like there's a sliding scale between me and Lindsay. When the gother I go, the more cottagecore she gets.
It seems to be. Because when I first started doing stuff with Lindsay, she was going way more for that hard, dark look, and yep. As you've gone more to the dark side, she's getting all cute and cottagey.
I haven't gone anywhere. I live here.
Half of my closet is cottagecore, and the other half is dark academia. You're just
I
gonna
believe
have
it.
to deal.
I believe it. I love it.
Alright.
I just switch between days.
One thing I did notice in every single video that I've edited, because I've done several in a couple of days, we have never introduced ourselves a second time, so...
Oh.
Once again, even though I really don't think anybody would forget, I'm Casey, the DM. Cottagecore is Lindsay. The best background is Olivia, and Pink Ranger is Phoebes.
Are we permitted to call you Phoebes?
It's fine.
Are you sure? Don't do the it's fine. Say yes or no.
Yeah, yes or no.
We talked about this.
Then no.
Okay.
Alright. I'll not call you Phoebes.
Reminds me too much of Friends. Which I do
Wait,
not have a
that's totally
good
valid.
relationship
That's fair.
with this case.
But Phoebe was like the best one of them all.
That's
Let's
true.
have that argument right now.
In my defense, for me, it's because first initial, second initial, it just kind of blurred together in my head into Phoebes.
That's fair. Got a valid reason.
Yeah. Rashna will be here soon. Tintlet the Magnificent is otherwise occupied.
Tintlet? Oh, the kitty mouse.
Is it Bilbo? What's she do?
You are good.
Olivia, no! It's too soon! I'm glad that happened now instead of in the middle of play.
Yeah. No kidding.
What did Bilbo do?
brought me her toy. You're
Aww.
such a good hunter, good
There
girl. Thank you.
Chai is sleeping behind my laptop. I've got my laptop propped up on it. The only
Oh.
books from my D&D collection that aren't being used to prop it up are the main 3, which I have underneath my dice tray in case I need them.
How many D&D books do you need?
Do I need or do I have?
Actually,
Well, some
having
of
the
them
physical
are
copies is
modules.
so
I got-
nice.
Did someone knock on the... Yeah! Thought someone knocked.
Are you hearing them working again?
Yeah, I thought someone was knocking. Welp. Where was I? Need is the interesting question there, because technically none. PDFs are a thing. But I like to hold it, and at least half of them are modules at this point. I just got Icewind Dale. I got the Icefire Peak kit. I've got Curse of Strahd.
And how many of those are you running?
None of them. But I want to read them and
can be useful here though.
I want to read them and figure out when I can't, but I want to read it and be prepared before I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been sad, and
I'm a DM. Do you know how many of these books I have?
I buy books when I'm sad.
I have one, and it's the Dungeon Master's Guide. I don't even have a monster manual, and I don't have a player's handbook.
I have the 3 set with the screen, Volos,
'Cause you can find it
Mordenkainen's,
online.
Xanathars, the Explorer's Guide to Fahey. I just basically, every time I go to Barnes & Noble lately, if I'm not getting a pile of YA fantasy that I'm not going to read, I've been getting D&D books instead, which I am going to read. So honestly, it's a better investment.
It's for your hobby.
It's called a library.
They're all closed right now!
You can't do
Yeah.
pickup.
I don't know. The one near me has been closed. I think they only just reopened, and I don't know if they'll have
My library
it.
will let you do, like, pickup. Oh my god, it's so intense, too. It's first time I've really felt like I'm in a pandemic in the South. You have to order beforehand. They text you when it's ready. You drive on by, you go around the back, and then you call a number and tell them your name and library card. Then they bring it out, but you can't roll down your window. You have to pop your trunk and show them your card
What?
through your car window. And they put it in to confirm, and then they put it in your trunk.
Oh my.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
But, like, all the books on my top shelf here are library books, because I hate to do it so much, so I get, like, 12 at a time.
I've discovered that Dungeons and Dragons is where my heavy money spending unhealthy collecting habit ended. Like, remember we had this conversation in college. You're like, everybody has that one thing they spend all their money on. Yours was cosplay. Mine is Dungeons and Dragons, apparently.
Mine is closed now.
They change.
Clothes are good.
I'm trying not to, though. I just really like clothes.
I don't go anywhere, so I have no reason to buy more clothes.
When I was in high school, mine was technically not illegal things, and now it's D&D.
I'm not going to ask.
She said technically not, so...
It means things that you have that if you use them, it's illegal, but if mostly weapons. But
Oh yeah, no, I was there for that. I remember that.
No, that's fair.
Yes.
I got you.
it's not just weapons.
Now she channels her love of sharp objects into making magical weapons. Oh, I told my group about the mimic thing that you designed, and everybody was shocked that no one used it. They're like, why wouldn't
Which
you
one?
want that? The mimic in a jar, the break if in case of emergency, and it's like a symbiotic sword.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It's 7 o'clock. Shall we play?
Something like that is
Okay.
actually part of a setting book that I got recently. I can't remember which one, but
We'll remember later. You'll probably remember randomly in the middle of one of my sentences when I'm trying to describe a scene.
Yeah.
no, I don't feel good today, so I might be a good player for once.
Wow. Okay.
This is why I'm switching back to Morin, so I don't have to pretend that I'm not dead inside.
Oh no. Yeah, we'll be able to transition to Morin. After this session, it should be fairly, as long as we get to where we need to go, it should be fairly easy to just go, and you're gonna be, at that LARPing thing on Saturday, so the rest of us could just do the in-between.
Salazar is leaving
Alright, I
us.
wanna
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too much energy at the end of the day on a Monday. Just mental energy.
Yeah, I could get that.
I just want to point something out. If we get to where we need to go, I've never heard of something like that from a D&D group. Just warning you.
That is valid. However, I am God.
Miracles
Last
can happen.
time I got someone to go where they needed to go, it was because I destroyed the city they were in.
Well, there's like 2 locations. Stop texting me. You know I'm busy.
Bebo, what are you crying about?
Oh, no, there was a second time. I had them eaten by something. Something that
Because they didn't go where they needed to?
Come on.
No, it was just a random
Oh.
encounter
I
that I
thought
really
you
wanted to
Jonah'd
do.
them.
But inside of the thing that ate them was a dungeon, so it's fine. But the thing traveled to where they needed to go while they were inside
Come
it.
on, down here.
You see who did Jonah them.
Yep.
I'm gonna refresh my camera. Olivia is I'm stuck on loading.
Oh no.
Oh, babe.
They then figured out how to drive it though, so I needed to destroy that.
They can drive it. I love it.
Good Bebo.
What
You're so
are your
nerdy.
games?
What?
It was a lot less out. It was a lot less over the top when you actually played it than how I described it just then.
Sounds pretty outrageous, but yeah.
I am sure. Okay, everybody is not on loading screen now. We are good to go. Previously.
Except now you're loading for me.
No!
Hold on. Yes. It won't go. Hold on.
This is gonna be the entire session.
We're just gonna musical screens. Okay.
Okay, are we
Can you see
good?
me?
Yeah.
I see you, you see me, we're good. I like this setting better. You can see more of the stuff around me. You
Yeah,
can see,
it looks
actually
nice.
see me. I'm not like blinded out. I still blend in with the wall because I haven't been outside all summer.
Look,
Nobody's been outside all summer. Right, Bebo?
No, I sent a picture of my only for video look to Jess, and she's like, "You want to wear a dark brown since you have no color?" And I'm like, I am a Tim Burton drawing. There is only black and white.
Yes.
Don't you like my little voodoo doll in a jar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
This isn't for the
I like all
video.
your-
These just live here.
All your Funkos. Yes.
In case of emergency.
It's Tiny Zuko. He's so cute.
Adorable.
Okay, Dungeons and Dragons, for God's sake. Previously, we went into the swamp. There was some talking frogs who are now still looking for Alan. Who is Alan? Alan! Salazar discovered a falling apart old ruin on a giant mess of tree stump. And a crazy old woman inside who apparently seems to have some pull over the trees. Whenever she starts to freak out, more they start to move and more come to her. she is apparently overhearing something in a, we said abyssal, right? In abyssal.
Yes.
You said
Yes.
abyssal.
She's apparently tapped into abyssal radio by accident. And Salazar was trying to translate it, but then she kind of lost even more of her mind, which was shocking because it was amazing there was any left, and ran off into the swamp where she is now, last anyone saw, amassing a gigantic clump of tree to kind of like Fern Gully shell herself up. And at around the same time, the rest of the team came wading through the swamp, following the bushes, one of which tried to climb over Tyr, and he was like not having it.
Nope.
Spider roots.
Oh, spider shrubs.
Spider shrubbery. Oh, that needs to be a sticker now. I'm already doing eyeball spider.
Oh.
You found the structure and came in. Nikolai sat himself down. Your friend from the bar sat himself down by the fire to dry off, while the rest of you saw a hag just chilling in the water, just swimming, waving even. And then it turned into Salazar, and that's, everyone was just reacting to that. So, Salazar has been at least one of the hags the whole time.
It was me. I was the hag the whole time.
I resent that.
I know.
I accept that terminology, thank you.
And I think you were, in the midst of coming back inside. But, yeah, Salazar was the hag the whole time. This is where we left off.
I can't believe that Salazar is going to be the villain of the entire campaign after he leaves us.
They are the BBAG.
Please no. Please no.
Well, I mean, it only makes sense for my character arc.
You joke, but it's true. How do I lose a pen that is on me? I'm just checking to see if Rashna's texting me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the last thing was Salazar's climbing back up into the ruin. Nikolai just kind of leaned around and be like, so this is who we were looking for?
Yes.
I also
Sorry.
asked Nikolai about whether or not that guy was his boss or not, and apparently it's more complicated than that.
Right, it was more complicated than that. Tyr was starting to say something.
No, I just said yes.
Yes.
And then I thought Rhiannon had something to say, but I guess you were just talking about what we did last week.
Oh, did I wake you?
So complicated how? Like you're separate factions, or this is a decoy, or what?
I'll get back to you on that.
This is a lot of complicated things to be discussing right now. We've got this guy and not knowing who he works for, and we've got Salazar over here taking weird water woman shapes. If hag's not preferred for you, I don't know what the correct term is.
Weeping lady.
Woman isn't the term I'd prefer either, but
What term? Okay,
I guess
well,
beggars can't be choosers.
I don't know these things anymore.
A little nose growl. Is that Grim down there with you today?
Yes.
I can keep seeing his ear.
Yes. He's being a turd.
If
Don't eat
you
the
want,
lights.
If you want to know who I work for, the answer is myself. That I can answer for you.
You work for yourself.
I can respect that.
Right? What exactly is it that you do for work anyway?
Depends on the day.
So no one has actually introduced me, I think.
Right. Nikolai, Salazar, Nikolai. Possible working buddy? We haven't decided yet. And Salazar, we just kind of adopted them. More or less.
Or they adopted us, it's hard to tell. Or they ran from us, it's also hard to tell.
Who knows at this point?
A matter of convenience, then.
Sure.
Something like that. We drank together, let's say that. We drank together.
We did. We drank together.
Does that mean I'm adopted now?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that alright with you?
I'll let you know. Depends on how it goes.
Alright. So,
Right.
what about the other scenario that we had going on here? The screaming old woman and the moving trees?
You
What
mean
exactly
that,
are we supposed to do about that?
that mess out there? You need a woodcutter for that.
Oh, question, out of character. Did she run away from the, did she run deeper into the forest or deeper out of the forest?
Roll me. Survival, I think, is what you should roll me right now.
Survival? I have
Survival.
advantage on that, and if it works out like last time, then I'll have 2 5s.
First roll of the night. What's the night gonna look like? This is gonna turn. Ooh, night.
Nice.
The night's gonna be here and there. You
It's gonna be good.
the direction which she ran seems it's tangential to town, but it was towards the river. Like there was a river running up, over the north, south, east, west side of town.
Never eat soggy west.
It sounds better
how I
if you
learned
say
my
never
dialect.
eat soggy Wheaties.
It's waffles for one thing. That's what I learned anyway.
It's good when they're soggy with syrup. She had
I'm sorry, what are waffles?
It's a
They're of the
special
devil,
breakfast
that's
that's anti-fourth wall.
Cat?
It's like Highland cakes, but you use an iron.
She went west.
Cat? Really?
Riverward.
That means okay. Riverward,
You remember, like she went towards the
but
river,
west means
but
so
you
much
remember.
to me when I don't know which direction. The
I'm telling
town is.
you. She
Okay,
went west,
fine.
which so you remember from the layout of the land was
East.
towards the river that in this part it was next to the town. It kind of arcs up, so you can tell you're in the like more swampy area because you guys started heading towards the bend of the river, which is why there's more water here. She headed deeper into it. You can make of that what you will. You also know that the river flows down. So back towards town.
I know the river flows down. I don't know where the hag flows, though. That's the problem.
That's the pertinent information to the question that you asked.
I know.
Does it really matter? I mean,
It matters if she's going toward the town, because we
Yeah,
might need to run back and warn people that an army
everyone
of trees
in
and
the town has
trees.
been a dick so far, so I don't
Yeah,
really.
but most of the dicks aren't from the town.
Are you sure? Because I think the guards are, and they're pretty.
Well, sure, the
dickish.
guards are, but I'm sure there's plenty of decent folk that are there too.
Oh,
According to
yes, the
Redbeard,
person who kicked me out of the inn for no reason.
according to Redbeard, the
Redbeard
guard?
being an old man with a green beard, that she is dubbed Redbeard because he implied he was colorblind. That's the joke for people who are new to tuning in.
But yeah, according to Redbeard, most of those guards that are mean are new from the city. So
True.
Did
At the
Red
very
House
least-
say
we're
that
debating on whether or not to save a town right now.
Yes, at the very least, think of the children.
Oh, good point. I hate children.
How did I know that was coming?
Just. Alright. Right. I'm gonna do something if she's heading towards the town. You guys. Do as you please. I don't know.
All right. I know people from around this area, so it's better to, I guess, warn them. Townward we go.
Head back to town.
Head back to town now. I am, at least, with Tyr.
Mhm.
I don't know what Nikolai's doing. Probably getting out of the swamp, too.
He is currently debating whether or not he wants to get wet again just yet.
After all this, I feel like I need another drink. Yes, I can carry him. You need a ride?
I think I'll be fine.
Pride or dry shoes? Pride or dry shoes?
It is a choice.
Alright, so we are leaving the ruin?
Apparently so. Before we leave...
Should we bring fire with us?
Huh? Bring fire with us? Nah, it's okay.
Nah, trees get angry with fire. according to
Rhiannon,
do.
what was your passive again?
My passive is 16.
Mm.
If you're talking about passive perception, there's a lot of passives.
Something smells weird.
Oh no, something smells like weird what? Like weird in a swamp? Or because swamp smells like swamp. That's a pretty strong smell.
You notice
Is-
something smells other than swamp. It smells weird in a way that's kind of making the hair stand up on the back of your neck, and you feel very uneasy.
Something smells hair-raisy and uneasy. Let's go.
How in the fuck does something smell hair-raisy?
It
I
wasn't
don't know.
me.
I smelled it. I smelled it. It doesn't smell like swamp, and it makes me feel uneasy.
What does it smell like if it doesn't
Sorry.
smell like swamp?
But apparently, it smells different than swamp, and it made my hair raise.
I
Like,
sniff at the air to see if I detect anything.
I want you to roll
No,
perception, and Rhiannon, were you not going to wonder if you smelled it before? Tyr only smells
That's
swamp
what
because
I
he's not
asked.
from here. You... I expected a follow-up question.
I asked what it smelled like. How is
All
that
right,
not
roll
implying have I
roll
smelled it
intelligence
before?
for that. Roll intelligence for that. You must like. I guess I heard it. I heard it in a different wording. Roll intelligence.
Intelligent. That is a 17.
First whisper of the night.
Oh no.
Where are you? There you are.
So if it's something like it smells like a blue dragonborn farted, then
It wouldn't smell like that.
We don't need to know that.
I assume ozone.
It would be ozone. He just kind of smells like that in general, though, but
I thought he
yeah.
smelled like salt because he lives on the ocean.
Salt and ozone.
Alright, I will go ahead and say, from knowing what that smells like personally, that smells like just stronger swamp. But it smells like
It
something
stands
died.
out.
Smells like something died?
Yeah.
Like that decayed kind of smell?
Like a dead body.
Your dead
It's
body.
a swamp. I'm sure there are lots of dead things.
Yeah, is it like one of them burial bogs?
That's what I said to. That's what I said to the voice inside my head, telling me that it was everything. But apparently, it stands up.
Yes.
To search for body or to get out of here. I search for body.
You search for body? Alright, investigation.
Can I also search? Like, did Rhiannon tell us that specifically?
That it smells like dead bodies?
Yes. And
Yeah,
that you are actively looking for dead bodies.
Well, you would see her looking, so if you would like to help, you can, and that means Rhiannon can look with advantage.
Yeah, advantage. I love advantage.
Advantage!
Advantage. That's 9.
Boy.
I find a body of water.
That's impressively bad.
I have like a +5 to that, don't I? Yeah, I have a +5.
Yeah, you rolled a nat 1 and a 4. So at the mention of dead bodies, Nikolai's gonna get up very quickly and put his bag back on and pick up his sword and be like, so there's a dead body around and we're having trouble finding it. Let's, on that leave idea.
No one specified it was a person of some kind. Just that it's dead.
Well, see, people
It
smell
could be a
different than
raccoon.
animals. Trust me on this, dead people definitely smell different than dead animals.
It's based on a diet thing.
Not asking.
That's true.
So you're
Sound
smelling
like you're-
specifically dead people. Have you ever met a person who eats
They
like an
smell
animal?
dead
They
people.
could smell like a dead animal.
I've met multiple kinds of people alive and dead, and it all kind of smells the same line of I don't want to be around it.
Could be a dead owl. All right, let's go.
Sure, we'll just keep our eyes out as we go.
Did not find dead body.
If someone else wants to search, be my guest. But apparently, me and my high-ass investigation skill is useless right now.
Can I investigate?
Sure.
Well, I've spent some time in the swamp and I haven't seen any dead bodies.
Yeah, you were just swimming around in
Salazar
it.
was a dead body the entire time.
That old man said he smelled like the sea, not like dead bodies.
Yes, hello.
That's what it smelled like.
Rashna's on the train. She coming. All
Smells
right.
like bad calamari.
Tyr, as you and Rhiannon looked the first time, you like turn over a few things around the fire. The general area, like within reach, couldn't really find anything.
Just a dead dude
So
sitting beside me.
while Rhiannon broke away to discuss with Nikolai and Salazar the merits of finding the body, you moved a little further away into where it kind of submerges into the water a little bit. And as you're looking through you step down into the water and you feel something against your foot, and something kind of like rises up, and it's this
Fish.
Hold on. It's taking
there's
me
a
longer to break
motivation.
away from this one. Something kind of rises slowly to the surface, and you see like this grotesquely swollen limb with like little critters having started to latch onto it. Little bit of
Just a
bone already
limb?
starting away.
Can I tell what kind of limb it is?
It is an arm, and it is coming up from the bottom, so it's still connected to something. You just kicked it up, and it's kind of rolled, and the arm came up.
Awesome. I take my tail and carefully nudge it.
Just sitting there like, okay,
Dislodge it.
okay.
I found it, guys. I found it. Found an arm, and it's attached to something.
a
Let's
the
hope
body
it's the
rises
rest
to
of the body.
the rest of the body rises to the surface. You see this like faded green. It all kind of looks just like a mess of green. It's this old man. It was what it looks like.
Redbeard
Like
was dead the
gross
whole
and
time.
swollen, and the beard has like algae and junk in it. And despite
It's been a while.
we're gonna require an intelligence check from you, even though I want to smack Fee.
Oh no, does he need to be Deadbeard now?
A 10.
What's that?
That was a pun and I'm ashamed of it. Don't laugh at me. You're encouraging me, damn it.
I can't help it. It's a reflex.
Don't encourage my bad habit.
His face is too by now to. I had an adjective, but then it disappeared from my mind. So you get a sound instead.
Sorry.
Disfigured?
Decomposed. That was it. It was the other D sound. He is too decomposed for you to tell by his face, but when he moves up, a couple of charms kind of float up to the surface, and you see some very familiar looking wooden charms.
Familiar how?
As in, they were what the old man in the town was
The
wearing.
old man was wearing
Mhm.
the little leaf man face and everything.
Yep.
I knew he was the tree the whole time.
So, that makes things very interesting.
Can I tell how long he's been dead?
Can you?
Is that a history check, survival check, something like that? I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
Medicine check.
Medicine check.
Yes.
That's a 23.
It has been a while. Definitely longer than the last time you saw him.
By the way, if it were a 3, my answer would be, we can't save him.
The news, guys. He's dead.
If we'd only gotten here 5 minutes earlier.
Time of death. Now. Okay. So,
He's been dead
this
for a lot
is
longer
the
than
old
since
man that we found in town, right? Like, this looks like him. Obviously, it's not him, but it looks like him, right?
Well, there are lots of explanations for that.
Well, you would know that, yes.
The most innocuous explanation is that he had a twin brother. The worst explanation is he's been replaced by something insidious.
What do you think? I look to Nikolai.
Nikolai is on pause for a second.
Okay.
Okay. Nikolai's gonna lean over and go like, I don't know, is it, I don't know how to tell a ghost from a demon from a twin.
But I thought you were so familiar with dead bodies.
Well, yes, but not when you see them again. They're dead and they decompose. That's how it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Salazar, can I ask, has Salazar explained to us what happened with the old woman?
I think Salazar gave a brief explanation.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Salazar
said that the old woman had been hearing voices.
Salazar gave a brief that she was listening. She kept hearing something. She was overhearing something, and it was driving her crazy. But he was like, I tried to calm her down. She didn't want to hear me.
suppose this
Because
has something to do with
wouldn't know
that?
this unless Salazar. Rhiannon wouldn't know this unless Salazar actually explained it. But Salazar, did you mention that she was bleeding from her ears?
Nope.
Okay. Then nothing comes of this information that I have. Actually, I'm gonna see it. Odds I ask. That's an even. Nope.
Chaos
Oh well.
player.
Oh no, I have a. I'm reasonably intelligent, so I'll go ahead. Do you guys know what that is? And I point to some black goo that seems to have originated from the old man's ears.
No. That doesn't really look like
Blood?
a natural sort of decomposition. That's the word.
A lot of
Keep
goo
going,
comes from a
don't-
lot of places when things are.
Oh yes, I forgot to ask our dead body expert. Is that normal?
I didn't say an expert, I said I was familiar. Mostly with the art of making them.
In that case, I'm very familiar too, but
So we know what of his job.
Oh,
different.
such a badass.
Yeah, you know it. I
Seeing
poke the
something
body
new.
with a stick.
You poke the body with a stick.
I poke it with a stick.
It kind of
Right.
bobs, and from where you poked it, some more dark ick kind of seeps into the water.
Is it? How viscous is this liquid goo stuff?
Have you ever reheated chicken broth before? That jelly junk on the top?
Yeah, where it's like all congealed.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
It's like a jelly,
It's like jelly.
like a runny jelly,
Yes.
like half set
So
Jello.
It's like decomposed cork juice.
Gross. All
Is it
right.
the same color
So
and
it's not
consistency of
sticky or
what's coming
anything.
out of his ears?
It's not quite the
Does
same.
Does it look like what happens when you look at the lung of a smoker? Anyway,
R.
so the shit that just leaked.
Leaked.
I'm going to graze over that word because I don't care. Blanked out of his body. So it looks different from what's coming out of his ears.
Yep, what's coming out of his ears is thick, but not quite as jelly, and it's a consistent consistency.
Okay.
And I've seen rotting bodies before. Does it look like congealed blood or anything, or is it something different, like tar?
It seems kind of different. It's like somewhere between. It's more. It's not like congealed blood. It has the qualities more of snot, but not. It's not that.
It's not, but not.
But you
Should
get the
we,
sensation, because of your high-ass fuck medicine check, you get the sensation that even though it's been such a long time since he died, it could very much be body juice. Something about it doesn't seem like it should be there. Like, it doesn't look normal.
Alright. Should we take his body back to town with us, or leave it here, or take a sample of that weird goo that doesn't look normal, or what?
What if it's diseased? You know what? Yes, we'll take it back to
Then
town.
we're already dead, I assume.
She's set and determined to just. All right.
You know, there's an inn where we could keep this body, I'm sure.
I bet you know exactly where to put it.
Got an idea.
Do we have anything
We're
to put
already
it in?
fucked. We've been poking this shit.
I'm
Yeah.
mildly concerned that the second we try to lift it from the water, it will come apart. So, do we want to...
I'm sure it will.
He would have wanted to be buried in the swamp anyways.
He was one. Well,
Clearly
he
already
never
had
actually
it.
met us, apparently.
So,
We don't know what he would have wanted done. Unless that guy is actually acting like a fair representation. Who knows?
Look at him.
Yeah, he'd want to be one.
He'd want to be one with the earth.
alright, we should leave him then, but we should maybe put him in a better spot.
Salazar, the longer you are there, since the hag has left, the sound of frogs has drawn near. Like you were able to hear it again over the past few minutes. You've been started to make out like actual communication again. They're still searching for Alan.
Is this Alan? We found him!
The meme has traveled this far through the frogs.
Alright. So I'll take like a little a vial or something out and see if I can collect some of that black goo without touching it with my fingers.
Be careful with that.
Oh, because
I
I'm
used a
an
knife.
evil son of a bitch. Sleight of hand, please.
I used the useless paring knife to try and
Oh
scoop it
no!
in.
Sleight of hand, please. I want to know how
Sleight of
terrible.
Is there
hand.
any reason you're doing this?
I think the girl has some hobbies.
True enough, but that's not why.
No. I could introduce her to chess.
That's an 11?
I don't think that's gonna keep her entertained enough.
I used not my hands to do this, and I have gloves on, by the way. So I have at least one layer of PP.
Oh, as you are trying to kind of like use the knife to maneuver it so you can like scrape some up into your
I
little
cut off.
glass thing, your knife does you kind of it's if anyone has a weak stomach, unplug your earphones. The knife squelches through it, the flesh a little bit, some of it kind of sloughing off. And you get some congealed blood, a little bit of what you were going for, but also some congealed blood and like a large chunk of rotting flesh kind of starts floating away because you cut. It's separated from the structure underneath by now at this stage of decomposition. So you in trying to maneuver his head, you cut it off, and a little wiggly thing.
Never worked as a barber.
A little wiggly thing came out from underneath and crawled over your gloves.
A little wiggly thing?
A little wiggly thing.
It crawled over my gloves and back into them.
Yes.
So I don't need to destroy my hand.
So you managed to collect it, but not easily or prettily.
So I
That's
didn't.
delightful.
I didn't collect what I assume is an earwig.
No, it seems like a maggot of unusual size.
So an earwig. All right, there's an earwig. We're leaving now. We're leaving town. We're leaving country.
I'm burning these gloves.
Burn it all!
Quite happy now.
I'm keeping the goo since I worked that hard to get it, but otherwise everything's going.
Well, I would hope you keep it.
Liquidation
You
sale.
wouldn't want you to work that hard for nothing.
That's what I'm saying, but otherwise I throw the dagger into it's a useless little dagger and I throw it into the fire. If I hear a screaming from the fire, then I'm sorry, everything. I'm sorry, Earth. Is that do I actually hear the goose screaming? Then I throw
No,
the goo into the
no. But Salazar does hear in the corner, "Careful where you throw those!" before a large bullfrog jumps into the water. Oh, this is fun. This is the part I'm gonna miss. It's so new to me. Is talking amphibians for Salazar.
Yes. Yes.
We'll have
Alright,
to
so
figure out something
what,
just as entertaining for foreign.
I don't have a weak stomach, but you got the one thing that I'm weak against.
Squiggly things? I know I did, because
Specifically,
I grew up with
squiggly
you.
things that specifically
Squiggly
squiggly
things?
things that come from body parts. Specifically, orifices of the body.
So you didn't throw down your bicycle and run away screaming when a water bug crawled across your hand when you were 9?
Probably, but I'm not that squeamish anymore.
I know, I just was remembering that, like, this is the thing I know how to use on you.
Jeez. Right, well,
Wait, water bug.
are we done with the body then?
Burn it. Burn the Satan out of it.
I must make sure that...
Purify the devil.
Oh, it's still the freaking...
Wish you were a cleric at this moment.
Hello?
Die, evil things.
Oh, Rashna coming in just a minute!
Hey.
Yay! She's like, I just gotta
Alright.
ready myself. I'm like, cool, because we're about at a transition.
Cool.
Alright, so I'm
Alright,
done
well,
with that.
if we're done with the body, I'm gonna grab a big rock. I'm going to mutter well wishes to the old man, and I'm going to put the rock on his chest and try and sink him.
Just
You're
that
strong,
part
I'll
of his
give it to you.
chest. Right?
I've tortured you guys enough. You manage.
I mean, it's not like a gigantic rock, it's just heavy enough that it'll hold a body down.
Yeah.
It ain't a boulder.
I am not
Just
gonna
big
make
rock.
the reference. I am not gonna make the reference.
I like that boulder.
That is
The
a nice
nice
boulder. That was the reference I was trying not to make.
Well, too bad.
Boulder
Reference
resents
made.
that remark.
3 out of 4
Right.
immediately went to Avatar. I can tell by Lindsay's nod. Alright. Okay. As you are exiting the ruins and slipping back down into the bog, I would like... Rhiannon, I'm going to
Get the
get you in a
fuck out.
second. I would like the other two of you to make perception checks real quick.
5. Man, it's not a good night. That first roll lied.
Alright, as you are slipping back down into the water, all of you preoccupied with not splashing, being splashed, or otherwise somehow sinking each other. You continue back out. Rhiannon, as you are climbing down, you notice out of the corner something seems a little wrong, so because of what just happened, and also to be fair, I'm still gonna make you roll, but something is wrong, so make the check.
Perception.
Perception. As you climb down, you're still preoccupied with the thing that crawled across your hand and back into the water. You're kind of thinking a little bit about whether or not this water out here connects to the water inside. But you glance up, kind of automatically, just doing a scope of your surroundings. You're just used to doing it, and you notice the writhing mass of tree that the run-on water lady disappeared into off in the distance through the clearing mist seems to no longer be there.
The trees are gone. Let's quicker to town. Double time.
They're gone?
They're not here anymore. Writhing massive trees, which, by the way, thank you for using the word writhing.
The theme of today is ew.
I'll get you
Great.
back eventually. Wait for me to DM, bitch.
No, just wait, like we should actually, I mean, you and Lindsay are both DMs, so like every now and then we could do like a break one shot with somebody else taking a turn. I think that'd be fun.
No, I have big, long-running plans to make people's skin crawl, so I don't need to worry about that.
Do you want to run Curse of Strahd?
No, Curse of Strahd is gothic. I'm talking about cosmic.
All right. It is gone. And with that, I am going to real quick text Rashna, see how long she's going to be. So I think that's a good spot to say, call a break and we'll come back in with Tintlet's bit and then rejoin.
Is it working or no?
Oh, I can hear you.
I hear you.
Yay.
Okay, good.
Give me that. Give me that. Stop it.
Okay, so I
baby.
need someone to fill me in, and I'm also letting you guys know I ordered some food, so I'm gonna run off to grab that at some point.
All right.
So a thing crawled across my hand.
We're starting with that.
The theme of today so far has been ew. So
Mostly yes.
We found a dead body. It was weird.
Okay.
Apparently he's been dead longer than we've known. So
And he looks like the old man that was by the tree in town.
Tintlet doesn't know any of this though, so just remember that you haven't heard this yet.
Maybe you guys shouldn't fill me in, man.
You can always go back
You told
and...
me there was something about a hag last session, which I also missed.
Yes.
Alright, so for reaction's sake, nobody else tell her anything. You can go back and rewatch everything. If you guys want, I'll just put up the video links. I'll just do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can go back and rewatch the episode that you missed. I'm editing it now, and I'll be able to put it up
Okay.
and schedule it soon. Stop it.
Okay, I thought I just didn't watch it, and you were gonna tell me off for not doing my homework.
No, I hadn't edited it yet. Don't bite me, you monster! He's awake now, so it's a distraction. This is. Whew. Okay,
yeah, so there was a hag,
Back to sleep.
and then there was another hag, but then that other hag wasn't a hag.
stop
And I don't
talking.
think the first hag was a hag either.
Stop talking. Oh, the second one you actually don't know the answer to yet, so it doesn't matter. But don't stop talking.
Don't stop talking.
Do stop talking. All
Don't
right.
stop believing.
Temper. So the rest of you went off on a commercial break. We are going to come back to Tintlet. Tintlet, you wake up, you had an active night. Quite a fun one. And you overslept. So you wake up, fairly late into the morning at the sound of somebody dropping something downstairs, like a fairly loud wooden clatter. And you wake up and realize that you are alone.
So
And
I
that
try to contain my disappointment.
She one night stood.
I try to contain my disappointment, but it's not something I pour into.
Baby.
My cord is hooked around a cat paw. No.
Yeah.
I can't.
A destruction of your own making.
Oh god. I'm stuck. Oh god. My headphone cord was hooked around his leg, and then while I was trying to unhook it, he reached up and grabbed my necklace.
Oh no.
Listen here.
Rashna, you wake up alone. What do you do?
I guess I head downstairs. See if maybe she went to get breakfast without me, just hoping, vain hope.
As you head downstairs, it's you can see that it seems a little busier than it should be at this time of day. People are just kind of sitting around. So stop it. There's a couple of tables full of people, a couple teenagers, a couple of the townsfolk that you haven't seen before. Just kind of sitting there quietly, just kind of looking around, not really eating. And you don't see Afu.
I guess I'll just order my own breakfast then. Do they have omelets?
We did establish that the breakfast was eggs today. I remember
Okay,
that.
And
cool.
ham.
And ham.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, as you're ordering your eggs, Gertie's who's like, I have a side of ham just around today. One of your friends ordered. Would you like some ham? No one else has asked.
Don't blame me on that.
Brilliant, I'm extra hungry.
You can't have the grapes.
Don't blame me for that. There were plenty of people eating brick.
No one wanted ham.
Oh no.
Pause for Olivia. Olivia is back now. Stop trying to eat the grapes. You won't like it. Do we have Olivia back?
Yes, we do.
Do I need to reload the camera again?
You might need to.
Sigh. Can I refresh page? No, I can't.
Discord is struggling tonight.
Alright, give me 1 sec to refresh and then fix the thingy. Alright, Rashna, are
I'm
you good on...
you.
Yeah,
You really should record your
devoured,
session.
I'm ready to go.
Sorry, Bubs.
Yeah. I'm gonna offer to Rob in all seriousness, do you want me to record sessions so he can't keep doing this? Because he'll try and debate what actually happened, and all of us be like, I literally was like, dude, I take notes as we play. I know that this happened. I know this character knows this. Because she and I both take notes. And he was insisting we were wrong. I was like, I'm gonna start recording sessions so he can't do this. He's trying to, because he'll argue the point instead of just admitting that he's wrong. Like, even in the text RP, he's sitting there like, who said that when? I'm like, scroll up and you'll see it. Did you see how many times we were yelling to say at him to just scroll the fuck up?
Yeah, you did several times.
Yeah. Alright. Rashna, are you good on Burrito Bowl? I want to play a happy game now.
Yes.
Let's see, a happy play. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Happy game with dead bodies and Wrigley. Yay.
Alright, after yelling about some drama from another campaign, we are rejoining. Tintlet woke up alone, came downstairs, people are just sitting around, talking amongst themselves, not really eating. A couple teenagers and townsfolk just kind of looking around and talking. You got your eggs and the leftover ham, which is a joke you will understand when I put up the 3rd episode.
Wait, is this a green eggs and ham thing?
No, it's something funnier.
Okay.
Should I just say it?
I mean, if it's just eggs that doesn't
No, you
affect the
can't.
plot, then I guess you could just say it.
No, there's a reason that there's ham that there's just
It's
ham.
probably
going to
be funnier to watch it.
So it's going to be funny to
Yeah.
watch it. Because you'll have a moment of, oh! So you have your breakfast of, it looks like a rough attempt of an omelet. Like, the cook knows how to make one, but he has so little things to actually go in it, that it's like this lumpy bit of egg with a couple of, like, mushrooms and stuff sprinkled on top like an afterthought.
That's when you do a French omelet, man. Only eggs taste like butter.
The
I don't think this is a
France
French
in
omelet
this world is
environment.
further south. The French aesthetic is where your friend with the colorful cloak is from.
Ooh. Oh, so exotic.
So after breakfast, the people around just to kind of like, there's people working in my building. Either that or my roommate's going through the cabinets. What was
Who's
that?
the friend with the colorful cloak? There are a lot of people with colorful.
Kyle Gall.
Oh, gallbladder.
Yes, gallbladder. I wanted to know if you'd remember what you called him.
Oh,
I always remember the nicknames, never the names though.
Never the actual names, just the nicknames.
The townsfolk are kind of lingering in the same place. Again, none of them's really eating, just kind of hanging out. After breakfast, what do you do?
I try and. I think I'll go to the marketplace and try and like revisit the scene of the tree, like, burning.
So you're examining the tree?
Yeah.
Revisit the scene of the tree.
Maybe, like, in the daylight, there might be something more to find. I doubt it, but, you know.
Oh, right.
And maybe I can... Well, I don't think there's much shopping to be done, but I'll check it out.
As you head down to the marketplace, you can see that there's not really much left of it. After the tree is like, it looks like whatever was destroyed, people have tried to pick up what's left of it beside, other than the stalls that were kind of crushed under the tree. Like there's still pieces kind of sticking up from under the roots. They're now just pinned there. That's where they live now. It looks like quite a few of the stalls have even been packed up or like left closed. It's not really active. Most of the activity there, besides the troops that have camped out nearby and are just walking through, looking around, are the guards patrol. Like as you move through the town and into the market, there's like a steady circuit of various guards here and there, just kind of keeping an eye, moving around. There's this general feeling of tension. Like people are still not quite sure how to react to what happened the previous night.
I go up to the guard and ask him if there's anything new that's strange has happened.
When you go up to the guard, I'm assuming you approached one after moving past the tree, because you said you were checking on it. You recognize the guard with a bandage on his face that you might have glimpsed Rhiannon and Salazar speaking to at one point before meeting back up with you in the marketplace the day before. He kind of starts a little bit when you come up to him. He's like, yes, new? Nothing new. You're, that friend of yours with the curly hair came through earlier this morning. They're the newest thing that I've seen. Everybody's on that Salazar hair.
Okay, yeah. Could you tell me where they went?
I do think that I don't know about the rest of them, but the one I spoke to, they went, they implied that they might be going into the woods. I overheard them speaking with the old man that's usually... He's usually out there by now.
I mean, I don't want to go into the woods on my own, so I'll just explore the town some more. Isn't there a church I haven't seen, really?
Trying to remember if a church has been implied. The only church I remember anybody mentioning was there was the old church in the old town, which is in the swamp. Like the town, there was a piece of town that used to be in the swamp, but then it was moved.
Yeah, the church on the Old Town Road.
Oh, dang.
Yes, the church on the Old Town Road. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're the one that described it that way.
No, she said Old Town Path, and you said Old Town Road.
Olivia knows because she was listening to the video.
I know.
This morning.
I listened to it today.
You want to tell them what happened that made me so happy?
So, I'm working and I'm listening to the session, right? And in the recording... Okay, I had completely zoned out at this point. I'm working, listening, just doing my thing. And in the recording, Casey goes, okay, are you guys ready to go? And me, IRL, go, yep, out loud. I answered the recording. And I just, stopped, and I was like, I just answered. I did. I'm an idiot. So I messaged Casey after that, and I had a good laugh about it. It was really stupid.
The power of my performance.
I guess so. I'm so used to just responding when you answer or when you ask a question, I just answer it automatically. So
it's more like the power of coffee and sleep deprivation.
Yes. Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
So does that mean that I feel like from now on we should insert questions to future Olivia into the videos?
That's probably not a good idea. I will answer it without thinking. It amused me though.
The Tintlet's going to the Old Town Path.
Yeah, I suppose I'm going to the Old Town Path.
Alright, so...
By the way, I want to say up top, I'm having issues logging into D&D Beyond, so...
Okay, well you do have your sheet on the... on Roll20 if D&D Beyond's not working, so you can roll through that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm logged in there, so that's okay.
Yeah.
Should be fine then.
Alright, so... the Old Town Road. Which is just what we're gonna have to call it now. I can't get it out of my head. You remember that area is where you went with the group the first time you went into the woods? So...
Yeah.
You said you didn't want to go alone, but you were thinking, there was a path, if I stay on the path.
And I have quieter clothes now.
You have quieter clothes now, there won't be any ghost jingling. Okay. So you're heading out into the woods? The woods is...
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm lonely, I want to join my friends.
Huh?
I'm lonely, I want to join my friends.
Yeah, you've noticed that they weren't in the inn, and they haven't been anywhere thus far. So you're just like, oh, I guess I'll catch up with them later.
Yeah, oh dang. I should probably check in on my troop, but it's too late now.
Well, they would have been chilling in the market. You would have seen them.
Okay.
They're already 3 towns over. They've left.
They seem fine, bored if anything. So the woods?
To the woods.
We go out to the woods.
Which we're booking it out of right now.
Fee, shut up. Alright. So, as Tintlet moves through the path, through the woods, through them woodses, the deeper along the path you go, you kind of come to the same area that you were, the first time. Nothing really seems that, different or out of place, although you notice that, it's still... we woke up later in the morning, but there's still, like, a little bit of wispy mist here and there, still kind of, like, drifting away. And, because of, like, the slight cast that it was laid over the, like, wetter areas, it may have rained last night. The frogs around here are, like, there's, like, frogs and wildlife just kind of, like, really loud all around you. So it's quite deafening. But, as you come to the fork, you do notice from before. What, Fee?
Oh. No, I'm just saying Alan.
She doesn't get that yet.
But she will.
She will. This is why you need to watch the video. As you come to the, like, near that fork area where you guys turned around the first time, now you do notice, there's this area that you could have sworn was a little more, there was a little more, like, growth here last time, but it seems pretty sparse now. Like, there's just, like, a ditch with water seeping up where you thought there used to be bushes.
Can I investigate this area?
You can if you want to. How are you investigating?
There's water? I'm sticking my hand in the water.
Sticking your hand in the water? Alright, roll investigation.
Well, a constitution.
So how you're going to do that on Roll20 is you're going to open your character sheet. It should pop up, and you're going to go to your list of skills, the ones that the long list, and just click on the word investigation. It'll roll for you.
Yeah, like that. Oh God.
What did I get? Oh gosh.
You got a nat 1. As you bend down to kind of reach in and kind of feel around, a large bullfrog leaps up out of the water at your face.
Oh.
I am not a fan, and I fall backwards and
into the mud.
Curse at it. Into the... Oh, yes.
Wow.
Does that mean I have to do an acrobatics saving throw or athletics?
No. You fell in.
Okay.
You jump. You jump back and fell in the mud.
Okay.
Even
You
that.
got in that one. You got scared into the mud.
My new threads. No.
If anyone knows prestidigitation, oh.
At least no one saw. So my ego feels a little better.
Just the frog.
Frog
The frog.
stuff.
The frogs know.
Except for where Alan is.
Stop!
Poor Ellen.
The frog kind of like hops away from you, croaking loudly, and then off the trail and into the swamp, and you hear a loud splish, and as it starts to like swim away.
I pick myself up. I glare at the direction it ran in.
All right, and I would like
I continue on. Yeah.
I would like you to roll a general perception check, please. Well, a specific perception check. Same list, perception.
Specifically perception.
Oh, right. So you notice you're fairly close to where you saw that tree root up before. The first time you guys were out. You also hear a little bit that along with the frogs, there's the sound of, like, branches moving.
Like, do I feel any wind?
No.
I grudgingly head in the direction. Sorry. I grudgingly head in the direction of the rustling branches.
The sound takes you off of the path. There's a short area where you manage to, like, hop from, like, spit of grass to spit of grass. But eventually it kind of lets out into this, you can pretty much describe it as a vast, shallow lake bed almost area of the swamp. There's very sparse cypresses sticking up here and there. No ground really to walk on. Once you make it to this point, you can see in the distance a little shape kind of bobbing along. A little shape coming behind it, just kind of bobbing along. Just heading in a general north-westward direction.
I follow it.
You're gonna go into the water?
I'm going into the water. I'm already muddy, it's fine.
Oh, right. So you are heading into the water.
With the water.
The water.
Water.
I'm from North Carolina. It's water.
Got the water in the toilet.
Oh, God, no. I regret everything.
Ugh.
So Tintlet just kind of wading through, following the bushes.
Don't spill it all.
You follow it for a little while, provided Tintlet's going to keep on this path. You before anything changes, I'd say you're following for a good 15 minutes by now, before you notice another shape, kind of like, just kind of, you can't really tell what it is. It's just kind of like, because there's still a lot of mist around it, but there's this vague shape in the mist, kind of moving and twisting. Seems large-ish from here, but it's just this shadow through the mist, and you hear the sound of like creaking and groaning wood.
Can I sneak up, or at least attempt to sneak up on it?
You can attempt to, however, you are like higher than waist deep in water, so would be a disadvantage.
Okay.
You are
Let me
not
go
familiar
through my
with
own
swamp terrain,
small-
so it's going to be at disadvantage. So you can make...
No Mask of the Wild to help me?
Ooh, let me see that feature real fast. I'm going to pull up your sheet. Tintin.
That's natural phenomena. Help hide woody.
Alright, yeah, just roll regular. Just click on stealth for
Oh,
me.
sweet.
That's why you need to carry around some pocket sand.
Ooh, 19.
You manage to kind of like sink down into the water fairly low, kind of like grab onto a piece of floating like grass and stuff, and just kind of hold it in front of you as you move through. You're moving through nice and slow, making no ripples. Just kind of look like you kind of blend in with a couple other shapes bobbing along towards what you see. And as you get closer, you said you were going towards it?
Yeah.
As you're moving closer through the mist, you see the other couple bobbing shapes near you are bushes, and you can see from here you hear this little sound, and if you look, you'll notice that sound is from the roots underneath them, kind of like moving all at once, like this little Flora doggy paddle. Carrying
Oh my god,
it.
that sounds freaky and adorable at the same time.
Who said that too?
Me.
Yep.
Leon thinks everything is adorable.
Step 4.
Except for creepy crawlies that come out of heads specifically.
Oh my god.
So you kind of blend in among the bushes that are moving towards the shape. As you draw closer, one large section of the shape kind of separates from itself and moves up, streaming water from it and out, and you can see it looks like this twisted, gnarled limb made of many branches and vines and bushes all twisted up together. It just kind of moves up, swings out, you get a little water over you, and then splooshes down into the water. And then you see another section of it start to lift up and move as well.
Oh no.
I think I will give up my hiding spot to see if I can't cling on to one and get lifted up with it.
Opposite of what I would have done.
I'm a curious soul.
This is why we have new players in games all the time. The unexpected happens. Oh, what do I have you roll for that? Let's say...
Placement jutsu.
Phi, Lindsay, consultation, what do you think? Athletics or acrobatics? To try and latch on to one of the moving limbs.
Or would that be a strength thing?
Well, I mean, it's like an acrobatic to get to it, but then a strength to hold on.
Well, she's already stealthed right up underneath the damn thing.
So that's probably athletics.
She's not the knight, but
Yeah.
she is the swamp at the moment. Athletics?
Yeah.
Alright, roll athletics. It's on your skill list. And Liv athletics
God,
has
eight.
a strength sub-skill. It has an extra bonus to it.
Makes sense.
You got an 8. Alright. As you try to move up on it, the limb pulls up from the water and kind of like knocks you back a bit and kind of swings up and hovers above you. You just kind of see it like moving a little bit. And then it's going to sploosh right back down over you. You are now underneath this huge doming mass of like there's trailing moss and stuff over you, dripping water. And like now that you're underneath it, as you look up, you can see underneath that you see this almost skeletally gaunt hand just kind of go like curl a little bit and then pull back inside. And you hear
I can't see your recording.
Well, you see a hand on the underbelly of this thing, like, kind of sticking out among all the vines and stuff. This dirty, skeletally gaunt hand with long, forgive my use of the word, crusty fingernails. You see
How
the
far away is it?
It is over your head. It is a good, like, 2 feet above you. You see the fingers, like...
I grab the hand.
You grab the hand? Okay, you were oh, God.
I touched the butt.
She's by herself right now, and she's just doing all the bold things.
Forgive her, she knows not what she does. I can hear Feast screaming internally from Colorado.
No, I don't. There's no internal screaming. There's an internal funeral dirge.
You can try to grab for it. That's going to be a sleight of hand.
Oh, Bubs, chill.
17.
Oh God. No, can't save the life.
You're just trying to grab it? What is that all you're doing?
Pull it.
I'm. Let's see. Let me think for a sec. You know what? I think I will yank it if I grab it.
What'd you say?
It's like Salazar, I'm like, okay.
What are you doing? Are you grabbing the hand?
Yeah, I'm grabbing it and then I'm gonna yank it.
You're yanking too?
Yeah.
Alright, then sleight of hand itself.
Oh, wait, hang on. Is it too late for me to say, can I grab it using my mage hand? For some semblance of safety.
A long way from safety.
Since I have not yet followed up, I will give it to you today.
Okay, thank you.
So you used your sleight of hand to apply to the mage hand that you conjured to grab at it. As the mage hand manages to clamp down and you try to use it to pull, the arm slicks up quickly inside, kind of dragging the spectral hand with it for a second before it dissipates, and you hear muffled somewhere above you this distant but very much nearby sound shriek, and so do the rest of you.
Run toward, run away, run toward. Coin flip. I feel like we have an obligation to run.
Yeah, in this moment, I am switching back to the rest of you. You hear in the distance some shriek.
Specifically, old lady shriek?
It sounds like what you heard earlier. Salazar, you knew it best. It's the old lady.
So run toward or run away? Toward, away.
I feel like away.
Yeah. I thought you were going to the town to warn them about it. That sounds pretty damn dire, though. Wonder. Don't know. What should we do?
While they are debating, Tintlet, the limbs all around
Nikolai,
you start to twist and close in.
Nikolai, what do you think? Toward or away?
What do you do when the limbs close in?
Let's. Sorry, I'm taking a look at my spells. Trying to remember myself what I have.
You definitely have the sleep spell.
Yeah.
We also have a pair of lungs to scream with.
There's also Mage Hand, which seems to have failed you this once.
Yeah.
Dancing lights?
Oh yeah, I'm lucky. Okay. Can I use dancing lights as a dispatch beacon?
So you're just sitting there
I'm definitely screaming as well to go with it.
Okay. So overlaying it louder even because there's no barrier covering it up. The rest of you hear a second ear-piercing shriek
I guess that means toward then.
Yeah,
And-
let's go.
As you turn towards the sound, Rhiannon is the first to notice, but then the rest of you will see it as well. 3 bolts of light shoot up into the air, kind of like circling over a point.
Yep, looks like someone's in trouble. Let's go.
That looks like a toward situation. Deathward ho!
Deathward. Yes, I will head towards it.
Nikolai hitches his sword, like, alright, guess we're gonna get bloody today.
Or sappy, since it's... Never mind.
Thank God we have an expert.
He's an expert in human bodies. I don't know about tree bodies. Wait, have you killed trees? Never mind. Run!
Probably not
And
a good
we're
discussion
done.
to be having here.
And
Not with
we're
living,
dragging,
moving trees
guys.
around. We don't need to talk about murdering trees.
Alright. I must pull up this.
Now, this.
Tintin, I am going to ask for
What's happening?
a Nope.
A dexterity saving throw? Is that what you said?
I'm trying to decide. Alright, the limbs kind of like twist in. You feel several vines shoot out and try to curl around you. I need you to make a strength save.
Alright.
So you're gonna go to your saving throws block. It's above your skills, and click strength.
19.
Alright. As the vines kind of twist and curl around your arms, you manage to, out of pure adrenaline and absolutely the fuck notivism, you manage to yank yourself loose and away. You are now no longer underneath the thing. But you see that the huge mass is kind of like twisting and turning towards you. What do you do?
Okay. Just like
You just
any
gonna run?
direction, you know. Yeah,
Alright.
just do my level best to get away. Run, swim, whatever.
I must figure out which direction you are going. You're just running? Just like noping the fuck out of there? Alright.
Yep.
North, south, east, or west?
Me or...
As you start, you run, trying to book it away. You feel under your feet that the water is getting deeper. Do you keep going or do you change direction?
I changed direction.
Okay, so after banking westward, you notice the water's getting deeper, so you turn and run again. You start moving south, keeping along terrain where you can actually maneuver. And you are... And Tintlet, she was running! Sorry. And, the Habooger is going to try, and you hear something kind of swing through the air in attempt to hit you. I'm going to ask you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity, yes. 25.
A huge, gnarled limb slams down into the water next to you, splashing, and you are just knocked away, and along this current, not current, you are just knocked aside with the wave, just kind of sent floating down away from it. You take no damage. If anything, it knocks you out of the way. And it like you continue to run, and as it's chasing you, the rest of the party, you break through around like this knotted cypress in front of you, and you see in the distance a small figure like half sticking out of the water, splashing frantically as it runs away, and this huge lurching mound of foliage and twisted vines and cypress knots sticking up out of the back like spikes, in this one clump of knotted root, almost like a head, just following and slamming huge arms down into the water after the thing that was chasing. You guys have... You have a round of reaction before I say roll initiative.
How far away are we?
You are about 100 feet away.
100. All right.
Let me...
It's pretty close.
math this. Well, it's chasing it back towards you. Let me math this. Because I just threw out a number. It sounded right in my head.
It's 100 feet.
We are coming from here. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. You're coming from here.
Jeez.
At the top. Tintin
Oh, there we are.
is... Ooh! That's not what I wanted to do. Distance. Yeah, let's say, let's use this map for it, because I don't have a straight swamp map. You come around a clump of twisted cypress, and you can see, all the way at the far end, Tintlet splash into the water. Pretend all the green stuff is more water. And trees sticking up out of it. And then this fucking thing that I'm gonna have to try and make sizable.
So how far
Excuse
did you
me.
say that was?
That is too small. It is... I said 100 feet, but that wasn't the distance I measured, so give me 1 second to fix this.
The distance. That big boy. That big boy.
In this fucking thing. Tintlet, you're
Oh
at the
my
bottom of
God.
the map.
Really that close? I thought she got farther away than that. Been running for a while and got 10 feet away from it.
There, God. I'm just trying to get everybody on the map.
I was just hoping it would be closer to me because then I shoot it.
Guess
Oh
what?
no, they're so far away from me.
It's your first combat. Alright, so it is. Tintlet is 145 feet away from you, and you're moving through water.
How far away is Big Boy? That is
Like I said,
120.
everybody gets one
100.
reaction before I call initiative.
Alright, since I can't get closer enough for it to make a difference, I run my 30 feet and I shoot at it with my short bow.
So you used your dash so you can go 30 feet instead of 15? It's difficult terrain.
Oh shit. Yeah, but I have...
I think the only person... Well, there might actually be two of you who can move okay in this terrain. And it's not you.
Yeah, I know. Here's the other... Well, the one with the swing speed is Salazar. Well, I go my 15 feet, and I shoot at it.
Yeah, shooting.
I'm shooting.
Yeah, shooting.
That's a 25 to hit.
That-
No, that's with advantage, though, so... That's a 15 to hit.
You, loose a bolt. You see it arc through and just make it between two chunks of bark. And you see the thing kind of twist and right a bit before it continues chasing Tintlet. Tintlet would have been able to move since she is running
10 points of piercing damage.
about that far, maybe. Just hesitated for a moment before following. And
Why can't I, oh, that's one.
I have to do this on a piece of paper because it won't let me adjust it on the sheet. Where'd my pen go? Alright. Tyr, Salazar, are either you gonna have a reaction?
I already said it's that Tintlet, and I'm gonna move up 30 feet as well.
It's in order to move 30 feet, you have to dash, so that means, like, you're running. Because it's difficult.
I'm running. It's an emergency.
It's an emergency?
I'm running.
Alright, Sal?
Same thing. I mean, can't really do anything from a distance.
Yeah, I'm... Well,
You hear splashing along you. Moving. Nikolai's just kind of running as well. And now... if everyone... Let me...
roll initiative.
Click on your icon before you roll initiative so that it adds it to the counter for me.
Click on icon. Roll initiative.
Oh, that's right. It does decimals in this one right now.
Why?
I don't know.
And I can't edit it, so whatever.
What was Nick's initiative? I have to add that manually. Damn it. His initiative is that.
Why can't I edit the... Oh, I probably need to click the edit button because I'm an idiot. Oh, no, that doesn't do anything.
I don't know why I hum random things. I
I
ran
can
out of time to
edit
get
other
music.
things. What did you do to this initiative?
I didn't do anything to the initiative. I don't know why it's decimals.
It's really
And
weird.
I can't, it's the only thing on the sheet that I can't edit. I can edit my dexterity, but I don't need to. Just ignore the decimal points.
Well, it's because the initiative is calculated by other things on the sheet. I'm gonna have to add his.
Not.
His is a plus, so I have to edit.
Oh, did I get
have to
sneak
do it
attack?
manually. Huh?
Did I get sneak attack? No, I had disadvantage, so never mind. I wouldn't have gotten any.
All right. Has everybody rolled?
Yes.
Yes. Great. This is going to be fun. I'm going to go to D&D Beyond to roll for this person. Okay. Settings. Numerical. Descending order. Salazar. You are not in your the prime part of your element, but you're surrounded by water. You got this. What do? Do you keep moving? Do you have an attack?
Yeah, you could have probably gone 60 feet while everyone else went 30.
Well, hold on. Let's see. Okay. I guess I need to move up 15 feet.
Doesn't Salazar have a swimming speed?
No.
Okay.
He can
I think that's at
understand
later
anything with the
levels.
swing speed.
Okay.
I guess I just have to use this whole turn to move. So, there's another 15.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
That's your turn. Rhiannon.
You have Eldritch Blast.
I was so happy that the group got back together. I'm highly amused that it's under these circumstances.
Can't wait till next level when I get action surge.
Oh yeah, I get to choose my college the next level. I think.
I'm multi-class, so I'm in the dunce category.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be getting their ASI while I'm finally getting my class or subclass.
Rhiannon, have you
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is.
Hey, no one told me. 1, 2, 3. And am I in a distance where I can shoot without disadvantage? Probably not. And I've been... It's hard to do.
Playlists. MND.
That's 90 feet, so that's... Alright, just out of my range, so I'm still at disadvantage.
Where is... I'm about to get us some music up.
That is a 27 and 7 piercing damage.
Oh, right. So this arrow, you see it shoot as the kind of thing kind of rears the knotted head. You see part of it like kind of opens slightly. The arrow shoots right down into it, and you hear a muffled squawk of pain as the thing turns towards you now.
This 27 disadvantage would have been double damage.
As the thing turned towards you now, forgetting about Tintlet.
About turning towards me? Yay, it's getting closer now. Need to shoot at disadvantage.
When it can move. Okay.
And now it's Nikki's turn.
In a moment, I'm trying to get the music up. One sec. Okay. Hold on, I had to math real fast. Let's see, so that's minus... Okay.
I want to trade out for a longbow.
So, Nikolai is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 as his 50. Where? I keep losing the tab. Is that less than 120 feet? That is a less than 120 feet. You see him jerk a hand out, splashing water up at you, Salazar, as he drops by. And shoot from his fingers shoots this bolt of bluish fiery light across the distance towards the creature, knocking, like, blasting it inside. Making it angrier.
Thank you.
But doing some damage at the very least. That I must write down.
How does only calculate initiative?
And Tintlet, what do you do?
Have I realized it stopped following me?
Your passive perception is what?
The passive...
You're the other 16, right?
Sorry, can I hear you? Put the music down a little more.
Oh, you can turn it down on your end. It's low on mine. You're gonna go to the list of people in the general, right-click on Groovy, and then lower it to around 30% or lower, and it'll go down in volume for you.
Okay, cool, thanks.
No problem.
Okay, so Could you repeat that?
Okay, what is your passive perception? You're the other 16, right?
Or 14.
How do I define passive perception?
You are going to pull up your sheet,
Sure.
scroll all the way down underneath your ability scores. Your passive perception is 14, my bad.
Yeah.
I thought there were two 16s. Very confused. Your passive perception is 14, though. You are frantic and running, but you hear the splashing is turned. You don't hear another blow come after you.
Okay.
So you can
Dare I
move.
cast sleep again? I do dare.
You dare? You try?
Yes.
Keep.
So I got a 16.
For what?
Cast sleep.
For sleep, it makes, wait. Left. For sleep, you just roll 5d8. And I believe... creatures within 20 feet range. And
A creature's hit points must be equal to or less than the remaining total for that creature to be affected. Remaining total of what? Of the 5d8?
5d8. Yeah, you roll a 5d8, and
So the hit points have to
that's
be
the number of
equal or less?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, to roll a save, I don't remove the side.
It rolled it for you when you cast the spell.
It'll do it for me?
Yeah, that 16 right there is the result of the 5d8.
Oh, okay.
Where's the 16?
Above the spell. In the chat.
It's not showing in chat. Weird.
Showing on mine. Here.
I see it on mine.
Yeah, there's a house
the
centipede on my
little
wall.
2GM thing. How do I turn that off?
Go get it, Chai.
Click on public. Chai is sleeping.
Oh, Chai, you're slacking.
Alright, Rashna, you see it pause for a second, and then kind of give a shake, and stay up.
Alright, I keep running.
No, he's blue boy.
And it doesn't do damage, right? It just does sleep if it matches hit points?
Yeah.
Okay. Sleep spell stumps me for some reason. And you said you keep moving? Which way? Ooh, I did not mean to move that. Up, down, left, right.
Let's just keep going left.
Left?
Mm-hmm. Because I assume since they're not that close, I probably haven't really noticed that they're there.
You make it another 15 feet away. It is Tyr's turn.
I'm going to move another 30 feet forward.
Charge.
And I'm going to call out the Tintlet, try and get her attention, get her to come to us. And I'm going to throw a javelin at the tree.
Real quick, having moved as dash, that counts as an
Is
action.
that an action? Okay.
Clarifying, right?
Yep.
Okay, I've been
Unless
confusing
you
myself
have-
with rogue rules lately, so I needed to ask.
Yeah, unless you... Which I will eventually get second level of rogue, but... Yes.
Yeah, unless you have that, you can use it as a bonus action.
Or
if
you're
it's
a
your
monk, in which case you need
terrain.
to spend points for it.
So you
All
move
right,
and yell
now-
for Tintlet, and then it is the thingy.
I have it. That damn thingy.
The damn thingy. You see it kind of... Let me move that. You see the huge mass of foliage kind of like sink down into the water and shoot forward. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet. Closer to the rest of you.
6 squares.
Yes.
Not Salazar.
Salazar, as it gets nearer, you feel waves of aggression coming off of it.
Okay.
And pain.
Alright. First thing I want to do is Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast.
Oh, right.
So 16 to hit.
Just making sure it is not resistant to. It is not resistant to.
Yeah, nothing is. There's like 2 things that are resistant to force damage.
Have to check.
That's why I love Eldritch Blast.
Oh, right. It jerks back as it connects. Taking 6 damage.
And then...
My legs don't like being crossed.
I am... This is probably going to say Eldritch Blast, but I'm going to Grasp of the Deep. I'm going to summon a tentacle right next to it. And it's going to do 1d8 lightning on a hit. So I'm just going to use my Eldritch Blast because it says to use a melee spell attack. But it's under my features instead of my actions, so...
Yeah, but the type of damage is lightning?
It can be cold or lightning. I'm going to choose lightning.
Okay.
Did that come through? Yeah, it's 25.
The tentacle connects and you see this kind of like... Not literally dark, but it feels such energy arcing from the tentacle over the creature. It's kind of like yellowish in areas, blue, multicolored energy. It shakes against the tentacle. It doesn't seem to take any damage from it.
Okay.
Yeah, this monster has some unfair resistances. It's a plant. And the things that it's resistant to shouldn't be things that plants are resistant to.
It is
but
a swamp plant.
And rainforests are prone to forest fires, just saying.
Theoretically, it's rooted, so... No, I agree with you. I saw.
And that's it. That's my turn.
Okay.
Alright, so...
Rhiannon.
Another shot with my short bow, and this time I get a normal attack because it got into my range. You stepped into my trap card, and I get a 10. So I'm guessing that doesn't hit.
The arrow kind of chips off top of a root and flies right on by. It doesn't seem to have noticed.
Yep. Fair.
Art thou moving?
What?
Oh.
Yeah, I moved.
It took a
and
second.
that's the end of my turn.
End of your turn. Nikolai beside you makes another run forward. I have to wait for D&D Beyond to load. Excuse me. Roll that, please. He darts forward 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 using that dash bonus action and shoots out again with another bolt of blue fire, catching it in the side. And it angles away from, it was barreling towards the main group, now it's kind of angled towards him. That is minus this many. And, Tintlet, you can kind of hear him yelling from where you're at. Hey, hold up! Pretty, come this way! As
Alright, I just go that way.
He called me pretty.
Well, actually, no, it is Tintlet's turn, sorry. Tintlet, you're heading towards
Wait, is
him?
it my turn? Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah, I turn toward him. I just dash, no trying to fight or nothing like that.
So you will be able to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet forward. And Tyr, it is your turn.
I'm just gonna move forward again. Hold up.
Distance battles. Pain.
That thing's probably gonna. I just want to throw it out there. That thing's probably gonna come forward towards us. So if you want to ready an action after moving 15 feet,
I have an axe.
That's the turn?
Alright, that's it.
Alright. My glasses. 1 second. I'm not used to wearing them, so the little pain above my nose and right behind my ears is still new for me. The big honkin' thinger splashing through the water instead of slipping down into it this time. 5, 10, 15, 20. Lunges forward and is going to swing out with a long tendril and try and hit that Tyr.
slam.
Does a 13 hit?
13.
I have a 15 AC.
The tendrils kind of splashes down into the water beside you. As it is Salazar's turn. And finally, everybody's within range.
You know what? I'm gonna do it again with Eldritch Blast.
Do Eldritch Blast or Tentacle again?
14 to hit.
As you shoot, a frog jumps past your face and you kind of like jerk sideways and it doesn't connect with the beast.
Stupid
Okay.
frog.
He's
I'm
trying to
doing
help.
my tentacle again, but I'm changing the damage to cold.
Okay.
I'm just gonna use Eldritch Blast again. 12.
The tentacle slips up out of the water and doesn't catch it. The frog that jumps by your face was screaming, "Run away!" And it is
Alan,
Rhiannon's,
help!
it is Rhiannon's turn.
I shoot it with a 15 to hit
Yes, shoot it with a 15 to hit.
with 7 points of piercing damage, and that's my turn because I'm not getting close to that.
Nikolai's thinking much the same and is backing up. 5, 10, 15.
Wait a minute.
Well,
How far away is Tyr right now?
Tyr is within melee range.
So that means I can add sneak attack damage, maybe?
Where was the thingy that I needed?
Question
Hold
mark?
on. 1 more second. Because these take a second to load, to roll. Okay. As the creature came within melee range, Nick was like staggering back, trying to stay out of reach as he shot another bolt. But it went past it. Didn't connect this time. And now it is Tintlet's turn.
Do I get to add sneak attack damage since Tyr is within melee range of it?
Oh, Yeah, it's distracted by him. That is how sneak
Alrighty.
attack works. So, what was you roll a yes?
So add 5 to that damage that I did to it. I really need to get a longbow.
Well, maybe you can go shopping on your day off.
Is it my
All right, Tintlet, it is your turn.
Okay, I cast Dissonant Whispers.
That should be a wisdom?
Wisdom save?
No. Hold on, I'll look it up.
It says so right there. DC 12 wisdom save.
I still am not on public. I don't know how to do that.
Let me play with your sheet for a second. I'll see if I can fix it. And public. There, I fixed it.
Thank you.
And that's 3d6.
As Tintlet kind of like casts this spell, this string of these strange, unsettling sounds surrounds the creature, and it stops and kind of starts to twist and writhe for a minute, emitting this screech of a sound from its center before it kind of shakes out of it again and starts swinging wildly. Tyr, it is your turn.
Did it not go, did it not use its movement to go away from her? It didn't pass the wisdom save.
It failed the wisdom save, so it took damage, but it doesn't have any movement yet.
It uses its reaction to move.
I said it's just kind of like flailing around, like it's staying in spots, flailing around in general, searching for which direction it came from.
No, but I'm saying Dissonant Whispers, it uses its reaction, if available, to move as far as its speed allows away from the person who cast.
I get it. I read the first half of the spell and not the second half. That's on me. Is it half the movement?
It says as far as its movement allows.
I just caught up to it and now it's running away.
I feel you. I can't use sneak attack if you don't get close to
It's
it.
not away from Tintlet. 1, 2, 3, 4.
A pain.
1, 2, 3, 4. There, it's away from Tintlet.
Well,
I don't even know what my attack range is with a melee weapon.
Depending on the weapon, it's going to have
5
a different
feet.
range.
I know, but I don't
If
know
it's
where to
an axe,
find
it's
that.
5 feet.
Oh, fuck, I can't do anything then.
But you can run. Or the 15
Yeah.
feet, because it's only 15 feet away from you.
Do we know that the hag is in there? I can't remember which of us would know that.
You
Yeah, I know Salazar knows, but I don't remember if he told us.
It depends on whether or not you would have made
This
the
is
connection
the
that this is the same thing as the mass of foliage that is now gone.
Right.
Well, one would
You can
assume.
fairly
I would assume.
so she's probably in there.
Okay. It's just what I need to know. Is the tree
It's within
house
15
submerged
feet.
in the water?
please.
No, how submerged in the water
Oh.
is it?
It
Oh
is.
god.
The water is middle of your chest is gonna. It is up to about Amadua. The water is about this. Got that high on it. Where it is right now.
Where are you drawing?
That purple
Oh, I
line
see.
on its elbow. It's like
Yes,
knee high
I
to a
see.
shambling mound.
Okay. So the hag Inside probably wouldn't be
She's
in
not
the water.
submerged. She's kind of...
Held above. Gotcha. I will move 15 feet closer then.
And you can still attack.
Swing away.
Swing away, Meryl.
And I will attack with the great axe.
22 to hit and slashing. A lot more damage than I did.
You swing out with your great axe, and you manage to, like, as one of the limbs comes swinging around, you manage to cut it right through as it's swinging at you. It just kind of splashes down, and the rest of it just keeps going. And it's now, like, one of its chunks is much smaller. You can kind of see, like, a couple little branches trying to twist out and fix it. As it takes
You got a chonk.
a fair amount of damage. Damage. And it is going to, in response to the damage, you hear a shrieking curse from somewhere inside. It is going to swing with one limb and then the next. The first limb it swung was its whole one, the other was its shorter one. So the first one's gonna give you 14 damage.
Holy shit.
He punch. And it is Salazar's turn, but real quick I'm going to reload my camera, because frick Discord. So much louder. One sec, guys. Okay, for some reason Groovy was on full volume when I rejoined, and it should not have been. That hurt my ear.
Bot.
Okay, Salazar.
Same thing.
Same
Eldritch
thing.
Blast, Tentacle.
Both attacks or just the one linked? Both?
The one I just did was Eldritch Blast. Now it's Tentacle, which is going to be cold damage, and I'm about to roll that damage. 3.
Alright. You managed to blast it, distract it for a second. The great head kind of swing towards you as the tentacle reaches up and wraps over it. Small pieces of ice starting to form along it, stiffening and kind of breaking off pieces of vine.
So the cold does seem to do something.
A little bit.
Using that from now on.
And any movement.
End of turn.
Rhiannon.
You know what? I'm going to back up 15
Back
feet.
it up.
Yeah, still keep them within 60.
Rhiannon.
But the big guys can handle them up close.
You're like, I am a range support.
I'm a warlock.
It's like, I will Eldritch Blast
That many
from
hit
back
points?
here.
That's a 13 to hit, so it does not hit.
You miss because the frogs follow Salazar. You feel something
I
against...
killed that frog, though. I nailed the frog to it.
No, something swam past you as you were shooting and you kind of jerked and missed. Any movement?
I do not move. I would like to rage.
And my mouse is doing that thing where it's gone again. Yay!
And now it's
Ricker?
Nikki's turn.
It is Nikki's turn. You see him again. The fire, like, come on! Burn, damn it!
I hide as a bonus action in my dreams.
He manages to connect with it. This time. And since it... Ah!
Ah!
My mouse is missing. And I can't find where it went. I'm gonna do this by hand. Because my mouse is missing.
Happened, bro.
It's not the one I was supposed to do. Add 5. Because it wasn't looking at him and somebody else is in melee range. And it is Tintlet's turn.
Okay, how do you measure your distance?
You are going to get that ruler over there. Oh, my mouse is back! Yay!
Okay, I can cast a snow whispers again, I'll do that.
You casting again? Yep, just remember to keep track of your spell slots.
Oh, how do I do that?
Yeah, you can cast 3 of those level 1 spells before your next long rest. So you can cast it again.
Yeah, I can cast. This will be my last time, though.
Well, it's keeping track of how she clicked it the last time, so it's keeping track of it. It has to do that. This time, as you cast it, it immediately swings towards you, and seems unaffected.
Okay, I also can move toward my party. They are, but alright, toward Nikolai. I just run in his direction.
Do you have, Oh, it still takes half of the damage if it fails, or if it succeeds,
So, some pieces fall off, but it is not otherwise affected. It's not affected to the desired amount.
One tree, or one bush is just so insulted that it keels over off of the top of it.
So much math in this game. You said you moved towards Nikolai?
Yeah.
Alright, you can, you already took your action, you can move your half at, you can move 15 feet closer.
Okay.
Tyr, it is your turn.
Out of self-preservation, I'm going to rage. And
For those of you who don't know the character, Tyr is a reserved barbarian who only rages when necessary.
I only rage after I've been hit. I don't go into battles.
It's all
raging.
fun and games until he takes damage. Then he gets angry.
Then he gets angry. I decide. I got 7 health left. I don't really think I want to attack. I can't decide. I'm gonna back up.
Wait, so you don't attack?
No, I
You can attack and then
can't really
back up.
risk. Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Alright, well then I will do that.
I can hear in Rhiannon's voice going, "But you're the damage machine!"
squishy
But
damage
that's a-
machine right now.
That's a 9 to hit, so it doesn't work anyway.
Ah.
It was a lot of damage if you did hit.
Mm,
You may back up
fuck
15
this
feet.
shit, I'm out.
The mound is going to 5, 10, 15, 20
Oh no, it's
towards the running elf. And Salazar, it's your turn again. Fighting in a swamp. Fighting in the swamp.
No, I'm not gonna do that, but I will. Instead of the tentacle, I'm gonna use Hex for my bonus action. And then Eldritch Blast.
which attribute do you choose to give disadvantage?
Hex. Let's give him disadvantage on strength.
Okay, no. And now it's my turn to miss again.
Let me get that extra 6 necrotic damage in there.
Yep. 14 plus
1.
15. That's gonna be.
And that's necrotic. And any strength checks that the tree makes are at disadvantage.
All right, and it is. Are you moving?
Pew.
Tintlet's turn. I mean, not Tintlet's. Rhiannon's turn. Oh my god.
The hell?
Pew?
Oh, I didn't mean to click it the
Well, we're going with the first one.
second time. Yeah, that's 17 to hit, and that's a 6 damage, and since it's not in melee range with anyone, I can't have sneak attack. Snack attack! I throw a burrito at it.
Burrito. Extra spicy hot sauce.
As you
Go for
shoot,
the eye.
Rhiannon, you catch it in the side of what appears to be a weird pseudo jaw, and you hit like a vine that was holding it on. It kind of like breaks, and you can see that the structure itself seems like it's beginning to come apart and move
I
less
got
steadily.
the jugular?
With the piece you knocked off, you notice how much has been falling off. It's looking fairly deteriorated.
Is it half health? Because that's what bloody means.
It looks very worse for the wear.
Okie doke. Now it's someone else's turn.
Nikki turn.
Unless I can actually rage.
You can't. Unless you want to triple class into...
Unless,
That would be
I
interesting.
wanna triple somewhere else. Now it's Nikki's turn.
Nikki turn. He shoots another firebolt at it.
Does he score?
It connects, and there is now a small chunk of it that's just slowly smoldering
The smolder.
as he moves closer to Tintlet. And it is now Tintlet's turn.
Okay. I just get some bardic inspiration.
2.
2. Tear.
You're still at a D4, right? Or is it a...
So either D4 or D6.
I'm gonna double check, because that's my job. Bardic inspiration.
That's a D6.
Yep, it becomes a D8 at 5th level, but it's a D6. So, Liv, you can add an extra D6 to your...
Oh, the D6 do I? No, I don't roll.
No, she can roll an extra D6 to add to a ability check or an attack if she wants to. You're giving her a bonus.
Sweet.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, that's it. I'm out of spells.
Tyr. Well, you get 3 bardic inspiration per rest. So you can keep throwing those out.
Yes, I will.
Alright, I'll move in again then. Ugh. And I'm raging, so I got a little mini storm going around me.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that one.
Not that it's gonna do a whole lot since it's lightning.
Yeah, that doesn't do much until you get to a certain level. It's good for aesthetics, though.
Also,
Yeah,
it's
it looks
lightning, so shambling mound, lightning.
Shambling
Fucker.
mound eats lightning for breakfast.
cool. Yeah.
I just want to
Alright.
seriously, fire and lightning, 2 things that plants hate.
I know, it's really stupid.
Well, the fire
honestly.
makes sense because it's a walking pile of wet. The lightning is strange.
Yeah. Lightning, though, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Alright,
water is a
so I
conductor,
attack.
so it can't linger on it long enough to do damage. It just shoots right down into the ground.
I do not accept that.
In its wounded ambling about as you swing, you kind of just barely miss as it goes by, and your axe kind
Shambles out of
of
war.
splashes down into the water.
Cute tree.
Fuck you, tree.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, it's just how I feel.
All right. Is that all of your turn? Are you gonna move? Are you gonna do anything else?
Guess I'll just move back.
Okay. You hear a keening cry of pain coming from it now. And it kind of like shambles around and starts like seeming backing away, losing pieces. A couple of trees off to the side start to twist and move and kind of lean towards it. As it is Salazar's turn.
Okay. Well. Okay, it's still within 60 feet. So, first thing, Eldritch Blast. 22 to hit.
Oof.
I'm going to add that extra for Hex.
Sally's on fire tonight.
That's 4 necrotic.
How do you want to do it?
Then, okay. Actually, I want to use my tentacle to grab him.
All right, so you're transferring
And I
that to
wanna-
a tentacle.
I want to. Well, I mean, my tentacle was going to be my follow-up.
Okay.
I 1-2 punch.
Yeah, Eldritch Blast tentacle. And I want the tentacle to like uproot it from the ground and like shake it like a dog until it falls apart.
As you fire the last bolt of Eldritch Blast, it shoots through, and you see it kind of like cut through a large section of the central mass, and the figure itself starts to kind of like shudder and shake as this tentacle rises from the water, yoinks it up into the air, and is just like swinging and rattling it around as bushes and tree pieces and sodden bits of moss fly everywhere until all that's left hanging from the tentacle is like a clump of foliage, streaming moss, and a limp humanoid body.
I don't know what to call that moss here because Spaniards exist in this world.
I call it hanging moss.
Okay.
You know, there are a lot of dead old people for a day.
Is she actually dead
Me
yet,
too,
though?
but
She's
I'm
just
just
kind of
assuming.
hanging there at the
She
moment.
will be momentarily if she ain't.
I'm not quite dead. No, that's not canon.
Woman, I'm not dead yet.
So should someone go check on her, or are we just gonna let her dangle?
I'll go up to check on her. See if she's alive. See what the hell is up with her. Should I make an investigation check? Medicine, perception? I don't know.
You're gonna make a medicine check as soon as Salazar lets her down.
Alright.
I'll go with Rhiannon for support.
I got an 11. Well, she's an old lady. Is she or is she not quite dead?
She seems quite expired. You cannot tell whether it's by the fight or the stress of having been part of such a construct or natural causes.
Right.
She's dead.
Do I see the black goo leaking from her ear?
Not with
I
that
don't want
medicine check,
medicine.
but if you would like to examine the body.
That's a different kind of check. So I guess I'll do investigation.
We could say that was to see if she was alive. If you would like to examine the body.
Yeah. That's a 15 investigation.
As you kind of examine her, you see her very like spindly, bony corpse. You find not just from her ears, but from the corners of her mouth, her eyes, and her nose as well, this kind of like thin, not as viscous on the old man, black liquid is kind of like streaming. The plants around her that are still clinging from the mound seem to kind of be dripping a similar viscous material as well.
Ah, it's the same thing as the creepy crawly burn it with fire.
Don't know if there's any bugs inside there though.
Burn it with fire, I don't care, we can find out after it's burned. Fire, now burn.
He did. That is now an inanimate pile of foliage.
Nice.
Did you just notice that I turned it upside down?
Yeah. Went belly up.
So what now?
I don't know, but there's probably a creepy crawly in her head. It's oozing the black stuff that the creepy crawly came out of before.
I will tell you that the creepy crawly that came out of the old man was, it was a maggot. It was like, he was a...
You said it was a long maggot, like a not maggot.
I said he was a maggot of unusual size. I was making a Princess Bride reference. Rhiannon would have noticed this is a I'm eating a dead body kind of parasite.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a decomposition
To clarify.
thing.
Not parasite. Scavenger wormy thingy.
I
This is
poke at the black ooze
Poke poke.
coming from her ear.
Should we, like, look inside her head to see where it's coming from?
I taste it.
Sure.
Oh, God.
What?
And that's how we retire Salazar.
And he died.
Tastes like demon.
One moment. Pause for...
Not asking for any particular reason, but what's your constitution modifier?
Oh no, definitely roll for that, but I'm also sending you something else.
Oh,
Roll a
God.
con check.
Yes, please.
Con save, sorry. One!
Oh god!
Alright. Bear with me for a
Give me
moment.
arms up.
In the arms of Cthulhu.
Which is really the way it should be.
Didn't know you'd be paying up your soul this quick, did you?
No.
Thought get to fuck around a little bit more, god. And the big bad evil guy was born. I don't like how long this is taking to look up.
I'm not looking something up. I'm whispering.
Oh, okay. Whisper, whisper.
How long does it take to type up "you did"?
Because you not dead.
What if you can hear the voices now?
Well, at least I understand them. I hope, like, all this time, all she's doing is whispering what it tastes like to me. She's like, it tastes kind of like...
Tastes like warm butter. Yeah.
Oddly minty.
It's salted, but not like enough.
You know what Rhiannon threw back up, the ham fat? That's what it tastes like.
Boys.
Gross. I bet it tastes like the purple drink stuff.
Purple drink?
Not purple drink, just the berry stuff.
The berry stuff tasted good. This was established.
Yes.
Tastes like a...
As the goo touches your tongue, the world flashes to black. After a moment of deafening silence, the air around you erupts in vicious screaming. Overlapping voices in abyssal shriek in your ears. Get out! Trespass! None of your concern! As it feels like the voices might split your skull apart, a cold, sinking silence falls over you again. Another voice speaks. You are clearly not welcome here. I cannot protect you this far into a stranger's realm. You feel a sense of foreboding as the darkness wound around you turns you to face towards an immense yellow eye. The face reflected on it is one you haven't worn for a while, a swarthy man with earrings. You should run farther.
Especially with the morning breath, god.
Yeah, no. And if
Alright.
I move while she's sleeping in bed with me?
There you go, Lindsay. Let me know when you've read that. I know it'll be quick.
Apparently, it's a book.
It's not that long. It just took me a second because you guys were talking in my ear.
Excuses.
Excuses.
The kitty.
Okay, I've read it.
Alright. As those words echo in your ears, you flash back into the swamp. For a brief second, your mouth tastes like bile and sweat. And then you puke up about a gallon's worth of salt water.
Ugh. That's a lot of salt water.
By the time you are finished, Nikolai is
How
beside
did have
you.
time to drink that?
It's like, is this normal? Should we be concerned? Find a healer, maybe.
No,
Probably.
this is not normal.
Doesn't seem normal, no. Never seen them do that before. And seems pretty miserable.
I mean, to be fair, we've known each other for a day, so...
Shh. Still never seen it happen before.
So it's not outside the realm of possibility that it does happen.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. So let's get your friend back to town, I suppose.
Well,
Yes.
hey, Tintlet, what were you doing here?
Yeah, that's a good point. While I'm giving Tintlet confused look, I go over
Well, now I feel
and
guilty.
see if Salazar needs any help moving.
You feel that weak,
I don't know.
You feel that weak jelly feeling, like if you, when you've been sick throwing up all day. You're not quite sure if you can hold up under your own weight.
It's like when you're like, I can do it myself, and then stand up and then face
And
forward.
splash down into the floor. A small frog swims up by your waist saying, "Are you Alan?"
No, I can't make it on my own.
Hmm. Only somebody could help.
Big, strong. Well, Tyr, you were so nice to offer to me earlier. I'm sure you can manage it. And then Nikolai's just gonna walk away. The big, strong dragon.
I won't pick Salazar up if they don't want it, but at the very least, I will offer an arm for support.
I'm just picturing Tyr carrying Salazar just posed like this with one leg.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I can't go on.
I'm so delicate.
Fuck it. I'll just carry him battle style.
That's what I was just like one arm up, his little leg sticking out, like, oh.
Yep. Alright.
Funny because they really do need the help, but they're acting in a way that makes you want to drop them.
Mm-hmm.
I know Tyr is a good dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I must have caught the vapors.
I need a fainting couch. Maybe I should have given Sal a southern accent.
Oh my gosh.
And he
please
did
no.
come from the south.
Did.
It's true.
The
Why?
vapors.
Right.
So technically he can have whatever accent he wants.
That's true. Alright, so.
Change his identity in your arms and it suddenly speaks with an entirely new voice. Sprouts curls.
You're
A different kind of
you're
curls.
I'm about to say
giving me whiplash here. Ringlets?
Yes.
Yes.
Like you got those nice coiffed curls and you just sprout those little southern lady ringlets.
I do declare.
So we're heading back to town.
Alright, so, going back to town. So, Tintlet, what the fuck were you doing out here?
Guess we don't need to vote. One.
Looking for us?
I nod.
Now I feel
Figured
kind of guilty.
you'd be hanging out at the tavern. Had a pretty busy night after all. Wink, wink.
Well, at
By
a
the way,
pretty dull morning.
By the way, we saw that the I can't remember her name, but did I ever get her name? I don't care.
No, you didn't.
Spiky. We saw spiky hair going off. I assume she was looking for her the person that she was with before, maybe.
Probably.
Oh.
Not that I'm sad that she decided they were more important or anything.
Oh. Tintin. I'm sure she just had some duties she had to tend to. Maybe we can find her when we get back.
Maybe.
She didn't tell you she was leaving this morning.
No, I just woke up and there was no one.
Don't like that.
Have
The
you had?
bartender was weird about some ham.
Yeah? Wait, what?
That's probably my fault.
Right. I forgot about that. Probably so. Let's just get back to town.
In like a couple hours. I can't believe no one ordered that. Yeah. So we're walking back to town.
Walking back to town.
So I take my
You-
horse.
everything look normal on the way back? Any more moving trees? Anything look out of the ordinary?
The swamp as you walk through seems uncomfortably still, tree-wise. There's no breeze, there's no motion in the leaves. The sound of the frog seems to have died down a little bit. However, every now and then there's like a little croak off the side, little croak here. Salazar, you get a general sense that they seem to be slowly picking up on, is it over? Mine's not gonna go away, is it? Where'd she go? My name's Alan!
We found him!
As you come up through the swamp. But, it's eerily still, otherwise.
Okay.
Oh, Tintlet, I forgot, but didn't that tree before, like, take out some gold yesterday?
Did it?
Like
Tintlet,
yesterday,
you specifically
like,
looked, so you remember you saw that it dropped money.
Oh.
a tree with pocket chain.
Has no one picked it up? Like, we can go back and do that now.
Well, you would pass it, if you return to the path where you broke off from it, which I'm assuming Rhiannon would do since she's navigating a place she's never been. She'd be like, I'm gonna go to the point I was at. You can.
Oh, right, that tree. For some reason I was thinking about the flaming tree.
No, the tree before that one.
Wait, that was on the path. Are we back on the path?
By now you have reached the path. By the time you hear my name's Alan, you are back on the path.
Can't believe we found Alan.
Salazar is the only one aware of the Alan saga. He's like, oh. Oh
no! Yay.
Salazar's sitting there like, what do you know? So yeah, would you like to stop and go look for gold?
They never found
In the
Jerry.
mud?
Yeah, let's go.
No, Jerry.
No, she changed it from Jerry to Alan because it was the meme. Alan!
I know.
Alan! Alan! It's not Alan, he's Steve!
Steve!
Alright, you said you're gonna go look for the gold?
Yeah.
Okay.
I shall help.
Alright,
Sal would like to be deposited at the end so Lindsay can IRL go to bed too.
Okay.
I do need to go to bed soon as well, so maybe after...
I'll be able to close it off in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Tintin and Rhiannon. Tin, since it was your idea, you can roll investigation with advantage because you're being helped. So that means click on it twice.
Investigation.
Investigation. And with advantage, it means you get to take the higher roll, which is the 16. So the two of you together, picking around the mud, you find like a scrap of fabric, some pieces of what looks like remains of a clasp, and together you manage to root up 11 gold pieces between you.
This is a problem. It's an odd number.
You can keep the extra.
Wow.
You should.
And after collecting the gold and getting back on the path, you guys, you make it back to town. Are you heading towards the inn? To drop Salazar off in his bed?
Yes.
So you make it back towards the inn, carrying Salazar on the way. As you get back to the inn, you see hushed, like, as you enter, the conversation quiets. A couple of faces out, you recognize the two teenagers from the edge of town. Turn to look, and they look like very untrustworthy towards you in particular as Tyr carries you upstairs. And there we can say Sal is like, I'm good, ready for a long rest, and figuring out what the hell I'm doing now. And we can call it for the night. Lindsay, if you want to give a fast aside as to what happens upon Sal waking up.
Let me think about that one.
Alright, so we'll transition when you return Saturday afternoon, this coming.
Nice playing with you, Captain.
Alright, so Lindsay's gonna be absent this coming Saturday when we play because she's got a LARP appointment, which honestly sounds like a lot of fun. So, you guys will be able to tie up everything in town, and when we come back the following Saturday, Lindsay, you're going to have your new character at level 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to ask once you finish. Do we feel like
Do you
a little
feel like
bit
you
of
maybe
empowerment?
gained some experience? You have.
Okay.
So I want everyone to be level 3 when we come back on Saturday.
Alrighty.
Alright.
And good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
So long, farewell. Avito saying good
Love me
night.
to say goodbye. Sun has gone to
I
bed.
too
I know
am
so much of.
internally checking out.
Okay,
And
Alright.
externally as well, I guess. Bye.
bye.
Okay.
Cheerio.
Okay, so sadly your camera is loading again, so I'm gonna put the links over your face this time.
Yay!
Now I will have this was our first fight. It took us this long to get to a fight. Well, actually, no, it was the second we fought the tree, but it
We
ended
did fight
quickly.
the tree.
You tried to fight the
It
tree.
was. It didn't feel like much of a fight, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been keeping track of XP just in case, but this is a milestone-based campaign. You guys
Cool.
have reached that milestone, because otherwise you got a pretty decent amount from that shambling mount. I was afraid
Sweet.
of launching it at you guys, but that's why I gave you a level 5 rogue to help.
Huzzah. Thank you.
Um,
Thank you,
just in
Nikolai.
case. Yes, I was like, he can
Yeah.
swoop in if he needs to, but he shouldn't need
Good.
to, because that's not what he's for. But just in case.
Nice to have the backup.
But yeah, yep, so I'm good. There's actually a playlist to listen to by now. I'm gonna have like a little playlist link.
Nice.
And there's also gonna be the Kickstarter, which is still going on, because this video is gonna go up next Monday, because the 3rd episode is gonna go up on Friday.
Nice.
This coming Friday when we record is recording this on Monday, and then this episode's gonna be the Monday after that. And then we'll be able to go as like, we'll record on Saturdays, and then I'm gonna edit each video before the next recording session each Saturday, and it'll be posted a week and a Monday ahead. Ish. They'll be posted a week after being recorded.
Nice.
Yes. Still,
Excellent.
just different days. I think I'm going to stay in this area because I like it. It looks nice on the camera, and
It looks nice. It's a really good setup.
it's comfy. You got
The lighting's good. The backdrop's good. You've got your cool stuff. Chai's able to sit on the shelf.
Yeah. Here's that mirror. He's sleeping behind the
Perfect.
computer now. But yep.
Of course he is.
So, to all them future peoples who are watching this on next Monday, whatever day that's going to be, thanks! If it's just Olivia, how's your day today? Text me.
I'm sure I will be.
Yeah. You're gonna forget about this until Monday.
Future me will. Yes. Oh yeah.
Alright. And now I'm gonna stop
Bye,
recording.
people.